الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأنجبين بهم نتولى ومن أعدائهم نتبرأ إلى الله. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. So Hazrat Maryam Salamullah alayha, she gave birth to Prophet Isa alayhi salam, and when she comes to the town, she is being accused by the people that how come this lady has committed such an act. Now she had vowed to not speak to them, and it was mentioned regarding vows and qasam. And here when she had vowed that lan ukallim al-yawma insiya, that I will not speak to any human being today. Now when they started mocking at her, taunting at her, accusing her, there فأشارت إليه قالوا كيف نكلم من كان في المهدي صبيا. She pointed out at the baby, and they said, how can we speak to a baby in the cradle? قال إني عبد الله آتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا. And there Prophet Isa alayhi salam, he spoke. He said, indeed I am the servant of Allah, to me a book has been given and I have been made a prophet. We talked about this ayah in the last session. And then the messages also that we got from that ayah, where that the Almighty wants a baby to speak in the cradle, He does it. The infant speaks and puts away all the rumors that are against the mother. When introducing ourselves, we must the idea also that was taught to us by Prophet Isa alayhi salam is that first you are the servant of Allah, servant of God. And after that, whatever titles you want to have on your name, you can have. But then, first is Abdullah. Like Rasulullah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. So that is the original or the real identification that we have. And then it was mentioned that to be appointed as an imam or a prophet, or to any assignment from the Almighty God, there is no age limit. Whenever He wants, at whatever age He wants, He bestows, He gives His ranks and His job descriptions, and whatever age He wants, He can give someone a child, to someone who is barren, to someone who is old, to someone without a father, and also at times without a father and without a mother. He has got that might. He can do whatever He wants without any mediations, any asbab, any channels. Now today's ayah number 31. وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُ وَأَوْصَانِي بِالصَّلَاةِ وَالزَّكَاةِ مَا دُمْتُ حَيًّا. وَأَوْصَانِي وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا means He has made me blessed. Mubarak. Aynama kunt, wherever I may be. Wa awsani, and He has enjoined me, or He has advised me, enjoined me. It's from wasiyya. Bis salati was zakat. He has advised me, enjoined me towards prayer, towards fast, towards zakat, and towards prayers. Ma dumtu hayya, as long as I live. Ayah number 32. وَبَرًّا بِوَالِدَتِي وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْنِي جَبَّارًا شَقِيًّا. And to do good to my mother, and He has not made me self-willed and wretched. Shaqiyya, wretched. Jabbaran, self-willed. Now, the points that we learn from these two glorious ayat, first of all, it's regarding barakah. Barakah means to have, means to be blessed, to have a blessed life. And it could be to anything. Some people have a blessed life. They may be living for such a long life, and all barakah and all beauty is seen from them. Hazrat Fatima Salamullah alayha lived only for 18 years, but these 18 years were such mubarak, such blessed, that everyone in that time that she was living in was blessed by her presence. And then even now, after her demise, we still see that barakah of the presence of Zahra Marudiyya. Even today it is evident. Now, if tonight is the night of the first, depending on the moon, if it is the night of the first, then recite Dua Joshan Kabir. And if tomorrow is the night of the first, then tomorrow night recite Dua Joshan Kabir. And it's one of those beautiful prescriptions given by Imam as-Sadiq alayhi salam, that someone who does that will be blessed to perceive Laylatul Qadr. So perceiving Laylatul Qadr, it's one of those tasks. Maybe it so happens that we are not available, or traveling, or the mood, or illness, something may come up and we would not be able to be part of it. So Imam says, if it is the night of the first of Ramadan, recite Dua Joshan Kabir, and then you will be blessed to perceive Laylatul Qadr. There says in another quote, Man adraka Fatima, faqad adraka Laylatul Qadr. Whosoever perceives Fatima has perceived Laylatul Qadr. Laylatul Qadr, because it is the night of Imam al-Asr alayhi salatu wassalam, and we want to get to that night, we want to get to him. So we have to start it from the night of the first. One of the other things that is mustahab and generally not observed in some communities is that once it's confirmed that it is the night of the first of Ramadan, you say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, take some rose water, put it on your hand, and then sprinkle it on your head and on your face. That way a person, he will be safe from all these mental illnesses and diseases. And do that to all those who are around you in your family. Just take some rose water, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, on your head and on your face. That is one of the mustahabbat for protection from all these mishaps and illnesses. So here, وَبَرًّا بِوَالِدَتِي وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْنِي جَبَّارًا شَقِيًّا. The points that we learn from this ayah is that barakat is that which has immense profit in it, and immense barakat in it. And then there is education and there is growth in it. Sometimes there are things, no barakat whatsoever. So in something that is mubarak, there is growth. It just grows and grows. It never ends. Like for example, this lineage of Hazrat Fatima, the Sadat that we have, they grow, they increase in number. So that is the barakat in the generation of Fatima Salamullah alayha. Or sometimes a person is blessed with knowledge. People, they benefit so much from him, from his works, from his books. So that is barakat given to that book, to that person. Sometimes barakat is given to the life of a person, to the hand, to the pen of a person, to whatever they do. To some things Allah gives special barakah in one's life. We also have to ask Allah to make our lives mubarak, and that we also be blessed with this barakah. وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا. Prophet Isa, he says that he made me mubarak. And then we also have to have this dua that Allah make me mubarak, give me a mubarak life, give me a mubarak end. So that is mubarak means something which continues and which has a growth in it. Prophet Isa alayhi salam is mubarak. His life was mubarak. The 30 years or 30 odd years, or maybe just 30 years that he lived, and then he was taken to the skies, those that those 3 decades of his life were very Mubarak. Such Mubarak life that Allah has given to him, that even after being taken to the skies, Allah has promised to return Prophet Isa to the planet Earth and then to serve the Imam of our time. So even today when we see Prophet Isa has such a large following, the Christians that exist today are the followers of Prophet Isa. So that is barakat to the works of Prophet Isa, that he has such a large following. Now, a large following, and that means it's a success of Prophet Isa. We had prophets who were not successful in their missions, in their tasks, like Prophet Yunus, for example. He worked for 33 years. Only 2 people they submitted, they embraced to Prophet Yunus. So he wasn't successful like other prophets. So, when it comes to Prophet Isa alayhi salam, Allah gave him a life that is Mubarak. وَجَاعِلُ الَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوكَ فَوْقَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. Says that, and I shall set those who follow you above the faithless until the day of resurrection. Now the source of all khair and barakah that a person has in his life, it stems from one's intention. The purer the intention, the more the ikhlas in the action, in the ikhlas in the intention of a person, the better the output of that task is going to be. If the niyat itself was contaminated, was polluted, was to show to people, so that people they praise, so that people they say, wow, how nice and what wonderful. If it was for the people, then there will be no barakat in his task. So here Allah says that if you want barakah in your life, niyats, your aims, they have to be pure to have a barakat in the output of your actions. And then even these different statuses we have within ourselves, even that has to be pure. Only then will if the intention that is within myself, if I am pure, then outwards also it will be pure. If you want to make things look nice, but within ourselves we are horrible and we are negative, then even if something happens, it's not going to survive, it will not last for long. That task, it will be polluted, it will be destroyed, it won't last. So here says the Almighty regarding Prophet Isa alayhi salam, وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُ. That Allah made me Mubarak, Allah made me blessed. أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُ, wheresoever I be. So some, due to spiritual and moral illnesses, they are always afflicted and away from these types of goodnesses, khair, and providing goodness and khair to others. You've seen people, no khair is seen from them, nothing can be given is given from them to others. No khair whatsoever. But some people, despite nothing they have, but immense khair is seen in their dwellings, in their livelihood, in their work, in their speech, in their qalam, in their pen. Alright, so Prophet Isa alayhi salam, when he states over here in this ayah, walidati, that is my mother, he proved the chastity of his mother. When he says that Inni Abdullah atani al-kitab wa ja'alani nabiyya, and he has made me a nabi, wa barran bi walidati wa lam yaj'alni jabbaran shaqiyya, and he has made me to be good to my mother, wa lam yaj'alni, and he did not make me someone who is wretched or someone who is self-willed. Wa lam barran bi walidati. Now when he said walidati, he proved the chastity of his mother. And also at the same time, he confirmed his birth without a father by saying barran bi walidati, that Allah has made me to be good to my mother. So to be good to my mother, he is supporting the mother and also proving that he was born without a father. Barran bi walidati. If that was the case, then he would have said, O barran bi walidi, But he said, وَبَرًّا بِوَالِدَتِي, and good to my mother. Now again, the messages that we get from this beautiful ayah is that we should not know that all our excellence and the special bestowals, they are not from us. All of that is from God. No matter what is given to you, what is given to me. Sometimes some people have been excelled in certain tasks, in certain talents, in certain abilities. So there he shouldn't think that it is from him, never assume that it is his. It is from him, the Almighty. He bestowed, he gave. So it's not mine. That excellence is not mine. Those special favors also, they are not mine. All of that has been given to a person for certain tasks to be done by them. So he has picked someone, he has given them those abilities, those talents. So I don't need to be proud. If it is his task and his work and his bestowals, then there is no way to be proud. So praising oneself, if it is not to sell pride, it is okay. So at times you need to say something about yourself. So it's not praising and talking loud about yourself. No, sometimes you need to do that. And there is no pride in it. You just want to report and say that what all you have done to someone, that's fine. Here Prophet Isa also does the same. وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا. He says that God has made me Mubarak. So it's praising himself. That's fine. Because there is no pride for him to fall into. Now the prophets, they are all source of eternal barakah and goodness. Here said in this ayah, وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا, that prophets, they are Mubarak. Their livelihoods, they are Mubarak. Now, the spiritual values and merits are above time and space. Here he said, أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُ وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُ. أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُ, wheresoever I be. So for him it doesn't matter which time zone or whether time at all. For him it doesn't matter space, whether on the planet Earth or on the fourth sky. And when he returns in the service of Imam al-Asr alayhi salam, so وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا, that Allah has made me Mubarak. So there is no time restriction over here, no space restriction. So Allah has created him, has made him Mubarak over the period of time, not for those 2000 years ago when he was living. And also says neither space nor time, or wherever he be, that be Mubarak. Now, spiritual values and merits, they are all above time and space. وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُ. Now the other thing that we learn from here, and it's very important, is that prayers and fasts, prayers and zakat, they are these two divine commands that all of the prophets, they worked on it. وَأَوْصَانِي بِالصَّلَاةِ وَالزَّكَاةِ, that I have been advised towards prayers and towards giving zakat, towards zakat and towards salat. Now this is common in all the divine religions. Whichever religion you see zakat, charity, and then you see prayers, worship in all of them. Now maybe it can be said that the reason why he is Mubarak is because of the establishment of fasts, of this zakat and prayers. For the emphasis he has, and then he installed and he established that prayer and that zakat, maybe it is for that he says he is Mubarak. So namaz and zakat, they should never stop. No breaks, no holidays. No, from the day a person is mukallaf, baligh, from that day until the day he dies. Sometimes people, they call and they say that not feeling well and I can't sit and say my prayers, I can't stand and do my prayers, so I'm just substituting whatever my worship is with the tasbih. We don't have that. Prayers are prayers, salat is salat. A person has to offer the salat from the moment he is baligh until the day he dies. He has to say his prayers. If he cannot say them while standing in the standing posture, he says them in the sitting posture. If he cannot do them while sitting, then he does it whilst he is lying flat on his back. So whatever he can, he has to say his prayers, and prayers never fall from anyone's neck, no matter what situation a person he is in. As long as he is alert and he knows that what he is doing and he is seeing, he can hear, prayers have to be done by him. If he cannot do them in the full version, then whichever version he can, lying down, sitting down with ishara, so that prayer that has to be done. So namaz and zakat, they never stop. There is no breaks on them and there are no holidays. Ma dumtu hayya, as long as I live. Ma dumtu hayya. Now the other message that we get from this ayah is that doing good to the mother is among the akhlaq and the ethics and the etiquettes of the prophets. So the prophets, they advised to this, all of them. Even Rasulullah, when people they used to come to him regarding which one to choose for between the two parents, the Prophet, he says the mother, the mother, the mother 3 times, and then he says the father. So emphasis is to the mother. So 100% emphasis on the mother, 30% emphasis on the father. وَبَرًّا بِوَالِدَتِي, and someone who is bad to the mother, he never can be merciful, he can never be kind to anyone else. Someone who is bad to the mother. This is a rule which is, everyone should know that. Repeatedly it is mentioned that if we want to be obedient to Imam Al-Asr alayhi salam, we have to be obedient to our fathers, to our parents. If we are obedient to our parents, then definitely we will be obedient to the Imam alayhi salam. And God forbid, if we were disobedient to our parents, then know for sure, no matter what a person does, definitely he will disobey the Imam alayhi salam. Because all of this is step by step. So people have to pass all these different stages and steps of obedience to come to the obedience of the Imam. Now someone who is failure on step 1, towards the mother, then definitely he is a failure in all those steps above that phase 1. So doing good to the mother, it is among the etiquettes and the adab and akhlaq of the prophets, and someone who is bad to the mother is definitely bad to everyone else in the community, where Quran here in this surah says barran biwalidati, so that make me such that I be good to my mother. وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْنِي جَبَّارًا شَقِيًّا, and he did not make me wretched, and he did not make me self-centered. And then the prophets also, they are never after domination, they are never after zulm and tyranny and oppression, never do they do that. لَمْ يَجْعَلْنِي جَبَّارًا شَقِيًّا, here he also admits and says to everyone that he hasn't made me jabbar, that is an oppressor, and he hasn't made me wretched. The next ayah number 33. وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيَّ يَوْمَ وُلِدْتُ وَيَوْمَ أَمُوتُ وَيَوْمَ أُبْعَثُ حَيًّا, that is, salam be upon me the day I was born, the day I will die, and the day I am raised alive, that is the day of judgment, the day of resurrection. So again, the messages that we get from this ayah is that the only path and the only line that is safe from birth to resurrection is safe from every deviation is the path of the prophets. Only path that is safe. The path, the channel that was shown by the prophet will lead you to prosperity and success. Here in this ayah says, وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيَّ يَوْمَ وُلِدْ وَيَوْمَ أَمُوتُ وَيَوْمَ أُبْعَثُ حَيًّا, the day I was born, the day I will die, and the day I will be raised and resurrected on the day of judgment. Now from this ayah also you come to this silly notion that has come, that the Urdu speaking community has come up with. On the births of the Imam, they say zuhur of the Imam. They're saying that birth is for human beings, and for them it is not. It doesn't apply to them because they are nur. If a person is to change all these terminologies and words from birth to zuhur, then he has to put away all the other connections that are there. By birth, there is a child that is born. from a mother, from a father. So the connections of a father, mother and the son, they are there. And then there are siblings. So the connections between the siblings, between the parents, between the relatives, relations, all these relations, they are born and they are created from this birth. Now the moment you come away and put away this birth and replace it with zuhur, for example, zuhur there, it means to reappear. Reappear from appear when it has been disappeared. So it's the opposite of appear is disappear. There is no disappearance over here. Amirul Mu'mineen came to this world, he passed away, he died, and then he is buried. Appear, it's only for Imam al-Asr. He was born and now Allah has put him in ghaibat. He will return and appear from his ghaibat, but the original birth has already taken place. So here when Quran clearly says Yawma Walid, that is, the Prophet is saying, the day I was born, and Yawma Amut, the day I will die, wa Yawma Ub'asu Hayya, and the day when I will be resurrected. So the only path ahead, it's the path of the Prophets, which is free from deviation and inhiraf, and that is the only path that will lead us towards success and prosperity. The second message that we get is that on some occasions you can praise yourself, like here Prophet Isa did, wassalamu alayya, he said salam be upon me. The most important days in everyone's life have been mentioned in this ayah, that is the day a person is born, the day when a person dies, and the day when he will be raised for resurrection on the day of judgment. Yawma wulid, I was born. Yawma amut, the day I will die. Wa yawma ub'asu hayya, and the day when I will be resurrected alive on the day of judgment to give an account. So these 3 days are the toughest of days on every individual. Now the day when a baby is born, it is difficult for the baby coming from a zone to another zone. That's why he cries. And also difficult on him when he departs from this world, departing from a zone to another zone, from a world to another world. From all these difficulties and attachments that we had here, all of that has to be left behind, and we have to embark on another journey all alone. So there it is painful. So this second day is also painful. The third day, when I will be raised and resurrected on the day of judgment, all alone, and I will see everyone there. And then yawma yafirru al-mar'u min akhihi, that every man, he will be fleeing from his brother. The mother, she will be dropping her load. She would say that me first. And Prophet Ibrahim, to whom Prophet Ishaq is so dear, was blessed at the age when he was over 100 years. He would say that God, have mercy on me first. Have mercy on me, Ibrahim, first. So not even my children. So the horror of the day is such. So 3 days very difficult. Yawma wulid, Yawma amut, wa yawma ub'asu hayya. The day of birth, the day of death, and the day of resurrection. Now the other thing that we learn from this ayah is that death and resurrection is for everyone. For everyone, even Prophet Isa, he says, I am alive now, I will die, and I will be resurrected. So yawma amut. So someone who admits that he was born and he was bound to be born, and someone who will die, and definitely he will die, and someone who will be raised on the day of judgment, how can he be God? When he himself is saying, wulidtu, when I was born, amutu, when I will die, ub'asu, when I will be resurrected and raised. So here he says, I was born, I will die, and I will be raised. So someone who has these 3 tendencies in him, how can he be God? The next ayah, ayah number 34, says, ذَلِكَ عِيسَى ابْنُ مَرْيَمَ قَوْلَ الْحَقِّ الَّذِي فِيهِ يَمْتَرُونَ. That is Jesus, son of Mary, a word of the real concerning whom they are in doubt. ذَلِكَ عِيسَى ابْنُ مَرْيَمَ. And then says, مَا كَانَ لِلَّهِ أن يتخذ من ولد سبحانه إذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون. It is not for Allah to take a son. ما كان لله أن يتخذ ولدا. And then سبحانه إذا قضى أمرا. Immaculate he is. When he decides on a matter, he just says to that be, and it becomes, and it happens, and it is. Now again from this ayah we learn a few points, and that is, in the past few ayat that we just recited in the last session and even today, 7 of the qualities of Prophet Isa have been mentioned, have been introduced. And 2 of his programs also have been mentioned. So 2 programs Prophet Isa has, and he has 7 qualities mentioned in this ayah. The first, he is the servant of God. Inni Abdullah. He has brought forth a book. Atani al-Kitab. He is appointed a prophet. Waja'alani nabiyya. And then he says he is Mubarak. Waja'alani Mubarakan. And then being good to the mother, another quality he has, وَبَرًّا بِوَالِدَتِي. That he is not unwell and wretched, لَمْ يَجْعَلْنِي جَبَّارًا شَقِيًّا. And then the last quality which he has is that he is humble in knowing the haqq and right, and prosperous and successful is someone who is like that. Where he says, وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيَّ, salam be upon me. Now the 2 programs Prophet Isa alayhi salam has, one of them is salat, prayers. The second one is zakat, charity. Now this ayah, it states that what was said was all right regarding Prophet Isa ibn Maryam. ذَلِكَ Isa ibn Maryam. That is Isa ibn Maryam. When Allah praises him with all those 7 qualities, says that is Isa ibn Maryam. On a number of occasions, the Holy Quran has stated the beliefs of the Christians, stating that they are deviated, they are misled, and the faith they have, it's all void, it's incorrect. Says, for example, in Surat Ma'idah, لَقَدْ كَفَرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ ثَالِثُ ثَلَاثَةٍ. They are certainly faithless who say Allah is the third of a trinity. So those who have this claim and this faith, Allah says that it's faithless, it's not acceptable, and it is void. On another occasion, the Almighty states that وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودِ عَزِيزٌ ابْنُ اللَّهِ وَقَالَتِ النَّصَارَى الْمَسِيحُ ابْنُ اللَّهِ. Says that the Jews, they said Ezra is the son of Allah. The Christians, they said Christ is the son of Allah, son of God. So Quran has criticized both of them and says, explaining the true image of Prophet Isa, guides them to the right path, saying that ذَلِكَ عِيسَى ابْنُ مَرْيَمَ قَوْلَ الْحَقِّ الَّذِي فِيهِ يَمْتَرُونَ. That is Isa, son of Maryam, a word of the real, and then concerning whom they are all in a doubt. But Allah, He speaks so loud about Prophet Isa, 7 qualities He mentions. And 2 programs, one is namaz, salat, the other one is zakat. Now, Quran has criticized them, and by explaining the true image of Prophet Isa alayhi salam, He guides them to the right path. The Almighty also, when to make things happen, He doesn't need anyone, He doesn't need any help, He doesn't need any mediation, He doesn't need any sabab for something to happen, to be done. Now here in this ayah He says that إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا كُن فَيَكُونَ فَإِنَّمَا يَقُولُ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونَ إِذَا قَضَى أَمْرًا فَإِنَّمَا يَقُولُ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونَ. When He decides on a matter, He just says kun fayakun. So this says kun fayakun. This is for you and me to understand. Otherwise, Allah, when He wants something to be done, He has that intention, that irada, and it happens. He doesn't even need the help of these words. Kun fayakun, for it to happen. So this kun, it is a word for him to, he's using to explain it to us that how he does things. Otherwise Allah, he doesn't even need these words. Kun fayakun, and then fa is that conjunction that comes after. Over here it says even that is not required. If Allah intends existence, he brings it to the existence. If he intends non-existence, then that will also happen. That was a little bit about Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wassalam. Now Quran and the Christianity, or Quran and Prophet Isa alayhi salam. Now Muslims, they started their mission in Mecca, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, he is guiding the nation, guiding the people, and there is so much of oppression and tyranny from the Quraysh, from the Kuffar, that they ultimately moved from here and to Medina. Now when these oppressions were a lot on the Muslims, some of the Muslims, along with Ja'far bin Abu Talib, Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen's older brother, and he is the son of Abu Talib, Ja'far. This Salat Ja'far Tayyar that we have, it is the gift that was given to Ja'far by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Now what happens is that Ja'far, along with some of the Muslims, they move to Habasha, to Africa, so that they are safe, so they migrate there. Now here, one of the other Mala'in, it's this Amr As, or these Mushrikeen of Mecca, when they found out they are moving away to Africa, here they said that if they go to Africa and if they get strength, then it's going to be this idol worshipping plan that we have, that is going to be lost, and everyone will submit to them. So these mushrikeen and worshipping idols will come to an end. For that not to happen, these mushrikeen, they sent a delegation to the king of Habasha, Nauba, led by Amr As, la'natullahi alayhi, with a lot of riches and gifts to be given to the king of Habasha. Now Amr As, he comes with these gifts to Africa. He gets a meeting with an appointment with the king, comes to see the king, Najashi, and then he speaks about the Muslims, speaks very bad, very negative about the Muslims. Now the gifts that were given to Najashi, when he sees and hears Amr As has spoken and given such a negative report regarding the Muslims, he summons the Muslims to come to his court. They come, led by the spokesman, that is Ja'far bin Abu Talib, Amir al-Mu'mineen's older brother. He speaks, he said, okay, tell me about your religion. He speaks about the dark ages of the ignorance of Jahiliyyah, and what all these atrocities and oppressions were casted and caused by these idol worshippers, and how they used to trespass the rights of one another, rape and loot and plunder, all the sins that were being done in the era of Jahiliyyah. He says, then Allah sent a prophet with all light and nur, and he guided us, he taught us, he educated us. And when Najashi heard this report from Ja'far, he wept, he shed tears. And then he says to Amr As that God who gave me this honor, this throne, this might and this rule without taking any bribe, why shall I take this bribe from you? And returns all the gifts to Amr As, whatever he had brought for the king of Africa, Najashi, Habasha. So he returns the gifts also. Amr As, when he sees that he's lost this debate, and then it was a very cunning figure, he starts his conspiracies. Now I have to go and somehow pump filth into the mind of the king against the Muslims. He comes and says that these Muslims who you have given refuge here, they are on this political asylum in your land, they have a very negative opinion about Prophet Isa, who you believe, your God. When he heard this, he summons the Muslims once again. They come, led by Ja'far bin Abu Talib. He says that, what is your opinion regarding Prophet Isa alayhi salam? From this Surat al-Maryam, Ja'far bin Abu Talib, he recited this ayah, ذَلِكَ عِيسَى بْنُ مَرْيَمْ قَوْلَ الْحَقِّ الَّذِي فِيهِ يَمْتَرُونَ. That is Jesus. That is when he lists all the qualities of Jesus. And then he says, that is Isa, son of Maryam, a word of the real, a real word. And then concerning whom you have all doubts. Now here once again, Najashi, when he heard what loud faith and beliefs the Muslims had regarding Prophet Isa alayhi salam, he wept again. Amr as, when he sees that he's lost this battle twice, and the Muslims, they have won and they have sought a good place in the heart of the king of Habasha, he started with his conspiracies again on the third round in the presence of the king of Habasha, and here he got upset. He stood, he raised his hand and slapped this Amr As in front of everyone, and that was again when he lost. So here, as Ja'far bin Abu Talib, salamullah alayh, he recited Surat Maryam for the king of Habasha, and which gave him and all the Muslims the immunity, and he was made the head of all the Muslim refugees outside the Mecca and Medina. So here he was the first immigrant there, the first batch of immigrants, the first immigrant to be born outside the Islamic State and in a foreign land, as the husband of Hazrat Zainab, Abdullah bin Ja'far, salamullahi alayhima. Now we get a lot of messages over here, and that is, when it comes to you and you debating and supporting your religion, you have to be strong. You shouldn't be weak. Just like here, when Ja'far bin Abu Talib, he comes and speaks loud against those munharifin and those idol worshippers, say, ذَلِكَ عِيسَى بْنُ مَرْيَمْ قَوْلَ الْحَقِّ. That is the word, that is haqq. You also speak loud and clear when it comes to supporting your religion. And wherever you see that God is being mentioned in a way, like for example they said that he is the Son of God, quickly say Subhana. That is, immaculate and glory belongs to the Almighty God, who is free and away from all these attachments and needs and requirements. Like for example a person living, because the life that we have, it's so short-lived, I need someone as a support in this short life of mine. So I need a son, a child, a daughter. And because the abilities that I have as I grow, they drop. So I need some workforce to help me. So I need a child. And also, all the feelings that I have, I need to express those feelings somehow, and they have to be expressed to someone who is before me, and for that I need a child. And all these three requirements, that is the feelings or that age being very restricted, or the need for workforce, all these three are not present in God. He doesn't need anyone. He doesn't need any help. He doesn't have a life that is going to end. He is Hayyun la yamut. He is Samad, from ever, forever. The might that he has is eternal. Immaculate he is. So we say Subhana. Whenever there is a statement that is bad and against the belief that we have, quickly you say Subhana. Now then, the other thing that we learn from this ayah is that the saying which is famous, that they believe that Prophet Isa is the Son of God. And the saying also is like father, like son. So a son has to be like the father. But here the son is not like the father. The father is God. How can the son be like the father? So if someone wants to say that there is a connection between the two, the connection is a creator and a creation, a khaliq and a makhluq. So between God and Prophet Isa, it is khaliq and makhluq, the creator and the creation. That's the other thing that we learn. And one more thing that we learn from this beautiful ayah is that when Allah when He intends something, إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا, that Allah, when He intends something, He فَإِنَّمَا يَقُولُ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونُ. Indeed, He says, kun means be. Fayakun means it is, it happens. So this be and happen, it's a word. It isn't as such that Allah uses these words to create something or to make something or to bring something into existence. He doesn't say that. It is His existence which His intention that brings that existence into that being into existence. So it is that intention and the irada of Allah. This kun fayakun is to explain to us that when He intends, otherwise even when He wants to intend something, there is a fa over here between kun and fayakun. Kun means be, fayakun, and so it becomes. So there is not even that passage of that little distance between the two words of fa for God the Almighty. He intends and it happens. He doesn't need any help, He doesn't need any sabab, any mediation, anyone for anything to be. So these are some of the things that we learn from this beautiful ayah from Surat Maryam. And inshallah we'll continue after this sacred month of Ramadan. And may Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala count us and enlist us among those who are with Quran, bonded with Quran and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, and that we are raised and resurrected with the Quran. Here Prophet Isa alayhi salam, he emphasized so much on two things, on the two programs, that is zakat and salat. And there says, وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا, He made me Mubarak. And one of the means of barakah, it's the zakat and the salat. Now when we look into riwayat, there is a hadith from Hazrat Fatima salamullah alayha. She says that someone who takes prayers easy, for him there are 15 punishments, 6 here in this world, and then 3 at the time of death, 3 in the grave, 3 when he's going to be resurrected, etc. And all these punishments are there until the day of judgment. The first thing that she points out in this glorious statement of hers, she says, يَرْفَعَ اللَّهُ الْبَرَكَةَ مِنْ عُمْرِهِ, that someone who takes prayers easy, Allah will take away the barakah from his life. So if someone wants barakah in his life, prayers, on-time prayers, importance to prayers, investment on prayers, if he wants barakat in his life. And then if he wants barakat in his rizq, again it's the same thing, barakat and importance to prayers. Says that if someone takes these prayers easy, Allah will take away the barakah from his life. وَيَرْفَعِ اللَّهُ الْبَرَكَةَ مِنْ رِزْقِهِ, from his rizq as well. And all the other the places where a person can have barakat, all of that will be seized away, taken away from him, just because he is not giving importance to his prayers, not doing them as he ought to have been doing them. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وسبحان ربنا رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد